Ladies and gentlemen, the Supreme Court has unanimously overturned numerous corruption convictions over the past 10, 15 years. This is just one example from the Buffalo News. Supreme Court unanimously overturns Buffalo Billions convictions of Simonelli, Parocco, and Colieros. This is just one example. 3 people who had their convictions overturned because what prosecutors did is make it political and make legal theory so broad that the Supreme Court said, hey, you're expecting the United States Supreme Court to be a judge and a jury and to look at legal theory from the most broad and ambiguous viewpoints. So we think there's politics involved. We think you're trying to stretch the truth when it comes to convicting people for political purposes. So that's not only for Democrats that want to knock out Trump in 2024. Okay, so the Justice Department obviously is not independent. The Democrats in Fulton County and the Democrats in New York are not independent and impartial. They want to go after Trump. But sometimes Democrats also go after, for example, John Edwards or Andrew Cuomo. So these people are linked to Andrew Cuomo. And they do so with prosecutors who are overzealous, who oftentimes withhold exculpatory evidence, which happened all throughout the Mueller probe. So they were so happy that people got indicted during the Mueller probe. Well, the Mueller probe was there was prosecutorial misconduct all over the place. That's why you had people serving a week, 2 weeks, and it was only for allegedly lying to a bureau official who happened to have texted, in text messages that Trump was a menace and that he would stop Trump, for example. One bureau official texted that. So you have the bias. You have the bias against political adversaries. So at a certain point, like Trump, Andrew Cuomo became a political adversary of the Democratic Party in New York. In this case, the Supreme Court overturned the convictions of 3 people linked to Andrew Cuomo. Now you have the Supreme Court overturning Bob McDonald's conviction in 2016. Here you have the unanimous Supreme Court. A unanimous Supreme Court overturned the corruption conviction of former Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell, ruling that federal prosecutors relied on a boundless definition of the kinds of acts that could lead politicians to face criminal charges. Why do you think these prosecutors would rely on a boundless definition of legal statutes? Because they want desperately to get people, okay, for political purposes. Oftentimes, if you have a private server, for example, like Hillary Clinton, who I think has to be the 24 nominee for the Democratic Party. I don't see how that's not possible. You might think I'm nuts, but if she's probably looking at Fetterman and she's probably looking at mashed potato brains in the Oval Office saying, well, okay, I'm better. So I just can't believe that she's not going to be the 24 nominee. But anyway, you look at, like, Clinton had a private server siphoning top secret intel. That's a crime right there. There's no definition. You have the Honorable James Comey looking at intent, and, well, obviously you intentionally own servers. Okay? The act of owning a server in the U.S. government is a crime. That's a fact. You can't have servers independent of U.S. government servers and siphon classified data. That is a serious crime. Hunter's laptop, owning that is a crime because it shows all the corruption and bribery schemes and pay-to-play and graft. And there's the money flow. You actually have a laptop with all the receipts and all the evidence. Okay? Trump didn't have a laptop or servers. Trump had Democrats in Fulton County, in New York, in special counsel wanting to go after him for political purposes. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. The Supreme Court, like they did with, 4, 5, 6 people now in the past 10 years, will overturn any conviction of Trump. And in addition to um, in addition to those in addition to those cases, you have Trump. Special counsel Jack Smith lost the John Edwards case. He was also a part of the Bob McDonald case. So he lost two cases. He'll be 0-3 with Trump. Let's just say that Trump is convicted uh, for the hush money payments. There was no FEC fine. The FEC fined Clinton. Furthermore, in the Atlanta Fulton County, the Georgia case, the special counsel lied by omission and did not. Jack Smith is going to lose that one also, along with all the others. Did not actually, within the indictment, state that Trump stated peacefully and patriotically, peacefully. He did not tell people to commit crimes. So Trump had nothing to do with the chaos and mayhem of that day. He should never have had that day, but he did not tell people to commit crimes. Furthermore, according to the Honorable Christopher Wray, he would not, the Honorable Christopher Wray, he would not say whether or not there were bureau officials there. Okay? So that should tell you something. But hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen, to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications. Go to hagoodman.com. To my super thanks, thank you so very much, everybody. It's below. If you want to support my work via Patreon, that's below as well. And just hit subscribe. This year is going to be really awesome. The end of this year, I'll have a whole bunch of interviews, and all throughout 2024, we'll interview really amazing and wonderful people throughout this, every week on this channel. We'll hopefully get to 300,000 and more on this channel. So hit subscribe right now. A lot of great things taking place. I'm only doing one video a day or every 2 days. So definitely share this. And I do appreciate your support. U.S. Supreme Court tosses former Cuomo aide's bribery conviction. That's linked to the article that I started off with. And so the Supreme Court, if it's political in nature, is going to overturn any conviction. Okay? You don't have to be an attorney. You don't have to be a legal expert. If it is political, if it is biased, partisan, if it's obvious to the entire planet that judges and prosecutors want to go after Trump for political purposes, the Supreme Court will overturn the conviction. Okay? Because almost certainly you're going to have exculpatory evidence withheld from the jury in New York, in Georgia, and with the classified data trial in Florida. Here you have a very interesting University of California law professor Richard L. Hazen, one of the country's leading experts on law, said Trump still has a path to serving as president should he win 2024. The Constitution has very few requirements to serve as president, such as being at least 35 years of age. If it does not bar anyone indicted or convicted, or even serving jail time, from running as president and winning the presidency. So there you go. So they're not going to stop Trump. His poll numbers go up. If you look at Real Clear Politics, Mashed Potato Brains Joe is about 1 point. He's only 1 point up in an average. I think less than 1 point up. That's with Trump indicted like 3 or 4 times. 4 times total. So if you're indicted by Democrats and you're still defeating the incumbent Democrat, or still close because there's a margin of error of around 3 points, what does that tell you, ladies and gentlemen? The political cult is not the person who votes for Trump. Swimming upstream from everybody: Jimmy Kimmel, New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, The Washington Post, Late Night, Saturday Night Live, New Yorker, Atlantic, loyalists within the U.S. government, social media algorithms. When everyone is doing the same thing and divorcing themselves and disowning friends and family for voting for Trump, the cult is the Democratic Party and people voting Democrat. I don't care if you vote for Biden. Go ahead. You care if I vote for Trump. That's why you're in the cult. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. And by the way, we had record low poverty with Trump, and we didn't have the foreign policy catastrophes we have with Biden. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now.